Reporting up is one of the most underestimated skills in procurement leadership. Yet, it's a skill that can define your career. I've seen firsthand how top procurement leaders use reporting not just as a tool for communication, but as a way to build trust, strengthen relationships, and drive results. But let's start with where things can go wrong. Years ago, I worked with a client where several team leaders in procurement had developed a habit of sitting on results until the very last moment. I remember the finance team and procurement leadership eagerly awaiting updates only to get a dramatic end-of-year reveal of negotiation outcomes. While the results were often positive, this approach left no room for course correction if things had gone off track. Worse, it undermined trust. Leaders were often wondering, what else don't I know? Contrast this with a procurement leader I worked with at another company. She didn't wait for her boss to ask for updates. Instead, she made a point to share regular progress reports, proactively flagging not just what was going well, but also areas of concern. She even went further, offering insights on broader topics that weren't explicitly asked for, but were clearly relevant. It reminded me of a concept from my book, The CPO, the horse race approach. She treated her initiatives like horses in a race, providing real-time updates on which ones were leading, which ones were falling behind, and what was being done to close the gap. This transparency wasn't just appreciated, it made her indispensable. Another common pitfall I've seen is sandbagging. At its core, sandbagging is the art of undercommitting to targets only to over-deliver later. While it might seem like a safe strategy, it can drain energy and focus. I've seen team leaders spend more time negotiating down their targets with internal stakeholders than negotiating better deals with suppliers. Every time I thought, if only they put the same effort into the external negotiations, imagine the results they could achieve. Now compare this to another standout procurement leader I've worked with. Instead of sandbagging, he leaned into holistic reporting. He understood that procurement isn't just about cost. It's about the entire supplier relationship. While cost was a major focus for his leadership team, he also kept tabs on quality, innovation, speed, service, sustainability, and risk. Even when his boss wasn't asking for updates on these metrics, he ensured that they were monitored and under control. And when time came to report on them, he didn't need to scramble. He was already prepared. One of the most damaging behaviors I have observed is the trickle of bad news. Rather than coming clean about challenges early, some leaders drip-feed updates over weeks and months. I've seen the frustration this causes. Moral tips, trust erodes, and even good work gets overshadowed by the negativity. Contrast this with the best leaders I've known, who understand the power of consistency. They treat reporting like an audit trail. Every update seamlessly connects to the past, the present, and the future. The numbers are clear, the narrative is transparent, and any changes are explained in its context. This approach doesn't just build trust, it establishes credibility, making these leaders the ones their bosses turn to when stakes are high. Reporting up isn't just about numbers, it's about relationships. I remember a senior procurement leader who once said, "Your boss should never have to ask for an update." That's the level of proactivity great leaders bring to the table. But reporting up also requires discipline and preparation. For example, in negotiations, one of the most effective tools I've seen is a simple one-pager. This document outlines the objectives of the negotiation, the competitive landscape, and the roles of everyone involved. It even includes insights into the supplier's key executives, their roles, their likely concerns, and their hot buttons. This kind of preparation doesn't just make the negotiations smoother, it ensures that you own the room. The same principle applies to quarterly business reviews or QBRs. These meetings, when done well, are a masterclass in reporting and alignment. I've seen companies use QBRs to evaluate supplier performance in cost, innovation, quality, and more. But what sets the best QBRs apart is the preparation that goes into them. Procurement leaders take the time to align internal teams, engineering, marketing, and others well before the meeting. They ensure that every participant understands the agenda and the role, creating a unified front that suppliers respect and respond to. Ultimately, reporting up is about trust, alignment, and leadership. It's about being the person your boss doesn't just rely on for updates, but turns to for insights, guidance, and solutions. So if you want to stand out as a procurement leader, ask yourself, are you proactive in your reporting? Are you giving your boss a holistic view of the supplier relationship? And most importantly, are you consistent in how you report and communicate? Mastering this skill won't just help you succeed in your current role, it will position you as a leader with a bright future. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Christian Schuh, and this has been Procurement in the Park. Stay tuned for more insights on how to lead, influence, and succeed in procurement.